Hi, in this presentation, we will learn about simple harmonic motion. But before actually going to simple harmonic motion, I would like to discuss two other types of motion that are periodic motion and oscillatory motion. So that when we actually discuss simple harmonic motion, it becomes a little bit easier for us to grasp the basic intuitive idea behind simple harmonic motion. Now we will look at what is a periodic motion. A motion that repeats itself at regular intervals of time is called a periodic motion. To understand it better, we will now look at some of examples of periodic motion. Motion of hands of a clock is quite a common and a very good example of periodic motion, as the second hand, minute hand and the hour hand repeats their motion at an interval of 1 minute, 1 hour and 1 day respectively. Similarly, rotation of wheel of car moving at a constant speed is also periodic. Rotation of ceiling fan moving at constant speed is also an example of periodic motion. Rotation and revolution of Earth on its axis and around the Sun are also very good examples of periodic motion. Earth completes one rotation about its axis in 1 day and a revolution around the Sun in an year. Now, coming to oscillatory motion, back and forth movement of an object that is repeated over the same path about an equilibrium position is called an oscillatory motion. A simple pendulum swings about its equilibrium position and executes a back and forth oscillatory motion. Similarly, motion of an mass in a spring mass system as shown is also an oscillatory motion. Sliding motion of a block of mass attached to a spring on a frictionless horizontal surface, and back and forth rolling of a ball on the surface shown are also examples of oscillatory motion. It is to be noted that the motion of a pendulum is both oscillatory and periodic, but motion of wheel of a car is only periodic because the wheel rotates in a circular motion. There is an important conclusion that we can make out from here, that oscillatory motion is always a periodic motion, but the opposite of this statement may need not be true. So far we have discussed about periodic motion and oscillatory motion. Now we will learn about simple harmonic motion. A simple harmonic motion is an oscillatory motion in which an object oscillates in a sinusoidal form about its mean position or equilibrium position. So since the SHM, simple harmonic motion, is an oscillatory motion, so necessarily it's also a periodic motion. But being only oscillatory and periodic is not sufficient enough for a motion to be called as a simple harmonic motion. There are three other conditions that a motion needs to satisfy to be qualified as a simple harmonic motion. The first one of them being force is directly proportional to displacement. The magnitude of net force acting on the object is directly proportional to its displacement from its equilibrium position. This is the first condition. The second condition is that the net force acting on the object is always restoring in nature. So the tendency of the net force acting on the object is always to restore the object's position to its mean position or equilibrium position. And the third one is that the direction of net force acting on the object is always in opposite direction to that of the displacement. So if the displacement is in plus direction on any axis, then the force will be in the negative direction of the same axis. Two very popular examples of simple harmonic motion that satisfy our previous conditions are a simple pendulum for small displacement from equilibrium position and a spring mass system for small displacements from equilibrium position. Before deriving the actual mathematical equations for the simple harmonic motion, I would like to introduce you with the basic terminology that is used in simple harmonic motion so that it becomes more of a familiar thing when we will be dealing with actual equations. So now there are some basic quantities that we see in simple harmonic motion. There are in total 5 major basic quantities, and those are amplitude of the oscillation, time period of the oscillation, frequency of the oscillation, speed of the oscillation, and acceleration of the oscillation. These are the 5 basic quantities. We will see all 5 of them one by one, and then we will move on to the mathematical derivations related to simple harmonic motion. The maximum displacement from equilibrium position is called as amplitude. We will learn about amplitude on a displacement time curve for a simple harmonic motion. Displacement time curve. There are 2 cycles of simple harmonic motion. One is from here to here, and another one is from here to here. Now in every cycle there are 2 peaks. One is on the positive side of the curve and one is on the negative side of the curve. Every peak corresponds to a maximum value of displacement x naught on either side of the mean position, that is at 0. There is a maximum value of displacement, and that maximum value of displacement is called as amplitude. Time taken by an object to undergo a single cycle in simple harmonic motion is called the period of oscillation. On a displacement time curve, we can take pairs of points at which the object is at the same displacement from the mean position and possesses the same velocity. It is at the same height, that is same displacement from mean position, and possesses a same value of velocity. So at such points, suppose we are taking all these 3 points, 1 dash, 1 double dash. At all these 3 points, the object that is undergoing simple harmonic motion possesses same value of velocity and is at same displacement from mean position. So time between any 2 such adjacent points is called period of oscillation. It is not necessary to take these points on any of the axes. We can just take any arbitrary point, but we have to keep in mind that we just take such points where the object is at same position and possesses the same velocity. So at point 2 and 2 dash also, the time between these 2 points is called period of oscillation. Velocity of object is rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So dx by dt equals to minus omega x naught sine omega t plus phi. Velocity varies sinusoidally with time. The maximum value of velocity of the object undergoing a simple harmonic motion is at its mean position, and at the extreme positions on either side of the mean position, the value of velocity is 0. Acceleration in simple harmonic motion is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Acceleration also varies sinusoidally with time, and we can write dv by dt equals to d square x by dt square equals to minus omega square x naught cos omega t plus phi. For now, we need not worry about these complex equations that we have been seeing in definition of velocity and acceleration. Soon we will be deriving them in when we will be deriving the equation for simple harmonic motion. The value of acceleration is 0 at mean position and is maximum at the extreme position on either side of the equilibrium position. We know that in simple harmonic motion there is a balance between inertia force and any one of the restoring force. So using Newton's second law, we can write force F equals to mass times acceleration. Now this acceleration term can be further written as second derivative of displacement vector, and this can also be written as minus m times omega square x. Now simplifying this part of the equation, we can write d square x by dt square equals to minus omega square x. Further simplification gives d square x by dt square plus omega square x equals to 0. So this equation right here is second order differential equation, and to find out the solution of such equations we have to assume some trial function. So let us assume a trial function, and our trial function can be like this: x equals to a e to the power lambda t. Now we will find out first derivative of x from here and then subsequently find out the second derivative. We will plug the value of second derivative in this equation for its solution. So let us find out first derivative. Dx by dt equals to a into lambda times a to e to the power lambda t. Now the second derivative, d2x by dt square equals to a lambda square e to the power lambda t. Now let us plug this value here and simplify this equation. It's a lambda square e to the power lambda t plus omega square. X value can be plugged in from here, that is a e to the power lambda t equals to 0. Now we can cancel out these terms. A can be cancelled out, e to the power lambda 10 can be cancelled out. So lambda square plus omega square equals to 0. Implies lambda equals to plus minus iota omega. So there will be two values of lambda, one positive and one negative. Now solution to this equation, this differential equation, can be of the form that is x equals to a e to the power iota omega t plus b e to the power minus iota omega t. One plus part and one is the negative part. Now what we will do, we will write this this equation that we have obtained for x using the exponential forms of sine and cosine functions. So writing this equation again, it will lead to x equal to a dash cos omega t plus b dash sine of omega t. Now further simplification of this equation can be done like this. We can take x naught equals to under the root of a dash square plus b dash square. Then this equation can be written as x equals to x naught cos of omega t plus phi. So this is nothing but our equation of simple harmonic motion. Now we will attempt a question that involves the concept that we have learned so far. So the question statement says that a small block is connected to one end of a massless spring of unstretched length 4.9 meters. The other end of the spring is fixed. The system lies on a horizontal frictionless surface. The block is stretched by 0.2 meters and released from rest at t equals to 0. It then executes a simple harmonic motion with angular frequency omega. The value of omega is pi by 3 radians per second. And simultaneously at t equals to 0, a small pebble is projected with speed v from point P at an angle of 45 degree as shown in the figure. The point P is at a horizontal distance of 10 meters from point O. If the pebble hits the block at t equals to 1 second, then we have to find out what is the value of v, the velocity with which the pebble was projected towards the block. And we can take acceleration due to gravity equals to 10 meter per second square. In the question, there is a spring mass system provided with spring of 4.9 meters unstretched length. This system is provided with a initial stretch of 0.2 meters towards point P. There is also a pebble at point P, and this pebble is projected towards spring mass system with a velocity of v at an angle of 45 degree. Now what we have to find out? We have to find out this velocity. The velocity with which the pebble has to be projected towards the spring mass system, so that at t equals to 1 second this pebble will hit this block. So what will be the actual condition? Just after t equals to t just greater than 0 second, what will happen? This spring mass system will start an oscillation about its mean position somewhere here, and this pebble will start a projectile motion towards this block. At t equals to 1 second, this pebble has to hit this block, and at this given condition we have to find out the value of v. Now we will see an animation of this problem, and actually this plot is on actual scale. The unstretched length of this spring is 4.9 meters. Then we have already stretched it by around 0.2 meters. This is the pebble, and the pebble will start a projectile motion with initial velocity v, that is at angle of 45 degrees from horizontal, and as soon as we release the system, this spring will start an oscillatory motion in horizontal direction from its extreme positions. The one is at 0.2 meter this side stretched, and another is the compressed state will be 0.2 meters compressed. So it will oscillate between these two points. Now we will see an animation of this system, and after that we will perform calculation to find the value of v. Here we have kept the size of the block small so as not to disturb the point of contact when the pebble strikes this block, and v is the initial velocity of this pebble. As it starts its motion, it will perform a projectile motion, and at t equals to 1 it hits the block, and the ball will continue its motion, and spring mass system will continue its oscillations. Now we will apply the concept that we have learned so far to solve this problem. So in SHM we know that displacement x is equal to x naught times cos omega t. Here in the question we have some given values. The value of omega is given pi by 3 radians per second. Time is given t equals to 1 second, and we know that amplitude is 0.2 meters, that is the initial disturbance. Now we can simply put these values into this equation and find out the value of x. X is equal to x naught, that is 0.2 cos of omega pi by 3 times t is 1. So it will be 0.2 into 1 by 2. So x equals to 0.1 meters. So what is this x? This x is the displacement of this block in SHM after t equals to 1 second. So we will first look at what was the position of this block at t equals to 0. At t equals to 0, the block was at a distance of 5.1 meters from z-axis. 5.1 meters is 4.9 is the unstretched length of this spring, plus 0.2 was an initial stretch that we have given. After t equals to 1 second, that is when t equals to 1 second, this mass will move towards the z-axis in SHM and will attain a distance of 5 meters. After t equals to 1 second, it will be at 5 meters from z-axis. This value is at t equals to 1 second. Now we know that at t equals to 1 second there are three things. This is the z-axis, this is the block, and this is the pebble. Now the distance is 5 meters. This is the pebble, here is the block, this is also 5 meter. This is at t equals to 1 second. So from here we can find that the range, the horizontal range that the pebble will have to travel is 5 meter. R equals to 5 meter. Now we can simply use the formula of range of a projectile, that is R equals to u square sine 2 theta upon g. Here theta equals to the initial angle of projection, this is 45 degree, u equals to the initial velocity that we have to find out, and g is the acceleration due to gravity. The value of acceleration due to gravity is already given in the question, that is 10 meters per second square. Now we'll simply put this value and find out the value of v. So 5 equals to v square sine 2 theta is 90, so sine 90 is 1 and g is 10. So from here we get v square equals to 50, or v equals to plus minus under root 50.